Human accomplishments takes that segment of Europe, starting in Edinburgh in the north, I guess, down to Florence, and encompassing most of France and Germany and so on. Not all of Northern Europe. It stops, you know, somewhere in Germany. So you have that segment, and I looked at it, and effectively, I grew up as a very strange bird, but not that strange at the time, as I'm from Lebanon, but I'm Greek Orthodox from Lebanon, and we've been living there forever. So for us, the notion of West and East are so artificial, it's not even funny, okay? But people don't understand each other because they use different alphabets. But effectively, they don't even use the different alphabet. If you look alpha, beta, delta, gamma in Greek, they're Semitic words. And actually, of these four, two are still used in spoken language in the Levant. Beta comes from house, bet, in Hebrew and Arabic. And gamma comes from gimel, camel, all right, in Hebrew and Arabic, okay? So effectively, the notion west-east is rather artificial, and the distinction, but people, there's a narcissism of small differences that makes people tend to amplify the differences rather than similarities. At the time of the Mediterranean, the big contrast was not between East and West, it was between the olive and Gaula Cisalpina, Gaula Transalpina, between the olive oil and the butter. Basically, the Mediterraneans, actually, even today, if you do a Cavai-Sforza type analysis of genetic links, you see the Mediterraneans are more in common with each other than further north. And effectively, the definition of Europe started changing. And you don't know, Greece, we're discovering more and more because silent evidence that a lot more, you know, took a lot more from ancient Egypt than we think. We still don't know enough about ancient Egypt, but it's the place where most documents have been preserved. And so, so that notion East-West is a lot more arbitrary. I'm not saying that, that all notions need to be arbitrary. In the Black Swan, I explained that some things are what I call Platonified, notions that, I mean, there's a difference between male and female. There's much more complicated difference between what is East, what is West, what is North, what is South. Because you don't have a clean-cut difference, not even culturally. These get magnified through tension, local tension here and there. And the final point I would like to, you know, is this. If you look at this graph, it looks exactly like the growth of human knowledge or human accomplishments over the centuries was, of course, between 1500 and 2000. You have a big jump. But why? Because the process is very multiplicative. I did the same with stocks. If you use UK and US and world stocks, from the beginning of the century, you get the same graph. Why? Because we're not looking at it by discounting the effect using something called log-log plot. It's a little technical, but it seems to me when I looked at human accomplishment that the rate of growth isn't that much bigger recently. Has not been huge. No more than the stock market growth since 1982 has been massive in consequences, okay, when we plot it against the rest of financial appreciation. So with this, okay, one little graph I wanted to show here to show the difference between East-West. This is by Karachi, and this is Europa. That's what is called Europe. And she was here is when she's taken by the bull, by Zeus, disguised as a bull, taken away from Tyre, where she originates from. That's in Greek mythology. So effectively, Europe that came from Tyre. That the link between Phoenicians and Greek was much more tenuous than we think, with a lot of tensions in between. So thank you very much. I pretty much presented my idea of the Black Swan and how it sort of weakens a lot of analysis, not all, and not all the way. Thank you.